Imagine young Leonardo da Vinci crouched over a dissected cadaver in a dimly lit Florentine workshop, his fingers tracing veins and muscles. It's not just curiosity, it's obsession. He's hunting secrets that textbooks won't teach him. That relentless hunger to know, to experience, to surpass the master, this is the first flicker of mastery. But here's the twist. Mastery isn't reserved for the Da Vincis or Einsteins. It's hiding inside your daily grind, waiting for the spark that turns routine into genius. So what's that spark? And how do you fan it into a blazing fire? Keep that question in mind. We're about to crack it wide open. Before genius emerges, there's the grind, long, painful, and invisible to the outside world. Mastery demands surrender to apprenticeship, yet few embrace this lowly phase. Why is this step so vital? Let's dig into the story of how apprenticeships shape raw potential. Leonardo wasn't born a master painter or inventor. Hidden in Florence's archives are his early sketchbooks, filled with clumsy drawings and failed experiments. But he stayed committed, spending years copying, observing, learning under Verrocchio's workshop. This wasn't glory, it was countless hours of invisible, humbling effort. One day, a subtle shift happened. His sketches began to leap off the page with life. What triggered that transformation? Think of apprenticeship like steel being hammered into shape. The repeated blows of practice, correction, and experience heat your skills until they're malleable, then toughen them beyond breakage. It's a furnace where mistakes aren't disasters but fuel. Apprenticeship isn't just brain work. It's muscle memory, emotional resilience, intuition. You don't emerge refined without fire, and that fire is your daily, often monotonous grind. Here's the surprise. True mastery doesn't come from talent or sudden insight alone. It comes when you absorb these foundation layers so deeply they become instinct. Leonardo's innovation, the Mona Lisa's smile, flying machines, didn't spring from nowhere. They erupted because his apprenticeship burned so thoroughly, it rewired his thinking to create original brilliance from fundamentals. Seeing differently is the secret weapon of masters. It's not just what they look at, it's how they perceive it. Want to know how Darwin and Einstein rewired their minds? The answer lies in shifting your perception. During his 5-year voyage on the HMS Beagle, Darwin didn't just collect specimens. He developed a new way of seeing life's diversity. He noticed subtle variations in finch beaks that others missed, details which sparked his theory of natural selection. This wasn't luck but an evolved perception, a skill sharpened by patient observation and an open mind. What if you could train your perception as finely? Picture your mind as a camera lens that can't focus properly until you swap out the glass. Mental models are these lenses, frameworks that let you see patterns hidden to others. They're like cognitive trampolines, bouncing you beyond obvious details into insight territory. The better your models, the higher you jump, spotting connections others overlook. The payoff to mastering perception? You start to notice what most don't. Einstein reimagined time and space because he perceived reality's fabric differently. You can rewire your inner lens by questioning assumptions, seeking out contradictions, and training yourself to look beneath surfaces. Suddenly, your ordinary world reveals extraordinary secrets. Mastery isn't all light and triumph. It scares you, it exposes your flaws, and it demands ruthless self-awareness. Greene shows that the path includes befriending your hidden, darker impulses to unlock real power. Ready to face your shadow? Leonardo da Vinci wrestled with deep frustration. Despite his brilliance, many works remained unfinished, his mind scattered across endless projects. This internal chaos was his dark side lurking, yet instead of denying it, he channeled this restless energy into relentless curiosity and cross-pollination of ideas. In that dark tension, his genius found fertile ground. What if your darkest traits are actually hidden treasures? Shadow work is like spelunking into your mind's cave, finding rough gems amid darkness. Your inner contradictions, impatience, envy, arrogance, aren't enemies but raw materials. By recognizing these traits, analyzing their roots, and consciously redirecting them, you convert emotional liability into creative fuel. Mastery demands honesty far beyond surface pride, embracing the full human mess inside you. Here's the twist. Many masters harnessed their so-called flaws to stand out. Tesla's social awkwardness pushed him into solitary invention realms. Darwin's obsessive caution made his theories bulletproof over decades. Accepting, not denying your dark side, flips it from self-sabotage to self-mastery, a quantum leap few dare to take, but all masters live by. Once you master a craft, the real power lies in breaking its rules. Greene dives into how masters explode limitations by reconfiguring patterns, shifting from imitation to originality. But how exactly do they collapse the old to birth the new? Einstein didn't just tweak Newton's physics, he dismantled its core concepts. By seeing time and space not as fixed absolutes but as relative and intertwined, he wrecked centuries of accepted rules. This wasn't reckless, it came from decades of deep mastery allowing him to see gaps others couldn't. Once mastery locks in, breaking rules isn't rebellion, it's evolution. What if you're just one breakthrough away from your own revolutionary idea? Imagine your knowledge as a giant woven tapestry. Masters aren't just weavers, they spot threads, patterns repeating across fields, ideas, struggles, and pull, twist, reweave them into new designs. Pattern recognition is their secret weapon, connecting dots, spotting absences, predicting moves. It's both art and science, a mental dance pushing beyond rote rules into innovation territory. Here's the unexpected payoff. Rebellion for mastery is strategic, not chaotic. By breaking the old, you shatter limitations that held you hostage. That explosive freedom lets you invent new methods, new visions, even new industries. Mastery morphs from submission to authority, flipping the script from copying to creating, from following rules to designing the game. Mastery doesn't have an endpoint. Greene reveals how masters live in perpetual learning, curiosity, and fluid adaptation. This final stretch unveils why mastery is a lifelong, joyful pursuit, not a finish line. Leonardo da Vinci died with hundreds of unfinished projects, an eternal Renaissance man hungry for knowledge in art, science, anatomy, engineering. His notebooks overflow with questions, hypotheses, and sketches for inventions never built. Instead of fearing incompletion, he treated life as an infinite journey of exploration. That restless curiosity kept his mind alive and evolving. Imagine living with that same hunger for discovery. How would it shape your days? Think of adaptive minds as rivers that keep flowing, never stiffening into ice. Masters don't cling to fixed knowledge or past glory. They morph with new information, experiment fearlessly, and embrace uncertainty. Curiosity is their fuel, adaptation their mode. This mental elasticity keeps them fresh, relevant, and innovative no matter the stage of life or field. The shocking insight: mastery is less about achieving a final pinnacle and more about entering flow, a state of joy, immersion, and fluid challenge. When you chase mastery, you're signing up for endless growth, a dance of skill and passion that keeps your life vibrant. The trophy isn't a medal, it's a life fully lived through persistent curiosity. Remember that dark Florentine workshop where Leonardo hunched over his cadaver? That obsessive apprenticeship, the uncomfortable doubts, the restless hunger. They're your starting line, not just his. Mastery waits inside your daily grind, your willingness to see differently, to face your darker impulses, and to break old patterns. Tonight, pick one skill or project and surrender to it, not for glory but for discovery. Embrace curiosity like a fire that never dies. Try diving headfirst into something you've been skimming. Watch what you learn about the world and yourself. Mastery is already inside you. It's time to let it out. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.